BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest here, Chris Wray, the Opinionated Gamers, here to talk about Gen Con games. You got another one on your list, and this is one I actually saw a demo of, so I'm a little bit more familiar with it than I am with Ultimate Werewolf Legacy. Tell us about that game from Simon.
Gizmos. So I first saw Gizmos back in April, and Gizmos is an engine building game. It's going to get compared a lot to Splendor. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's fair. This game is pretty different than Splendor, but it's an engine building game, which always makes this hobby go crazy. I mean, people love engine building games. This is a pretty cool one. It's very well produced. On your turn, you basically pick a marble, which is a resource, or you buy a card, or you can reserve cards, which I think that's what invites the comparison to Splendor. But it's this basic like build your combos type of game. It plays pretty quickly. It's pretty approachable. You could play this with gamers, non-gamers alike. I think if I had to predict the Gen Con game that will most captivate the hobby over the next few months, I would say either this or Root. And the reason I say Root is it's already captured the hobby's attention.
That's true.
But this one is not gotten a wide release yet. It'll be released, I think, at the end of this month. And when this comes out, sort of like Splendor hit this hobby like a bomb, I think this one will too.
I got to agree with you there. I got to watch it. I was watching the North Shore guys. Were playing. My buddies from the North Shore, Derek and Jason and Nick and all them. And the toy factor alone of watching those marbles come out of the little wooden container, that was enough to appease anybody. But the engine building aspect with it, to me, it was like off the charts. I really want to play it. Now, obviously, there was people waiting in line, so I couldn't get a demo, and I had to get back to the booth. But I'll tell you, that's one on my list.
This is one that people were not running for in the morning. So, when the hall's open, nobody runs because we're not allowed to run. But This is the one that people rush the booth for. And I think there's probably a mistake on Coolman or Knott's part not to have more copies there, because I think this would have sold really well and generated a lot of buzz. But it's fantastic, and Phil Walker Harding did a good job. And I could see this maybe getting a Kennerspiel nomination at some point.
Why do we talk about all these other gamers? And Phil Harder Walking is the guy that Phil Walker Harding is the guy that just keeps putting out game after game that goes right into everybody's collection.
Yeah, he's really done some amazing work, and I think he should probably, he's a pretty big name, but he should probably be a bigger name than he is at this point. This guy's here to stay. He's got great ideas. He's done a lot in a lot of different genres. Gizmos is pretty different than Emotep, for instance. So, this is a game to watch, and he's a designer to watch.
But when you ask people about their favorite game designers or the hot game designers or anything like that, they talk about the Langs or the Knizias or Alexander Pfister was on everybody's tongue for the last 2 years. No one ever mentions Phil, and that guy really should be in any conversation with any big name designer.
Yeah, he's really. He's rocking the hobby, and I think he's not as. He's pretty prolific, but because he doesn't have Knizia had like 4 new games coming out at Gen Con this year. Because he's not as prolific as a Knizia, he doesn't get mentioned in the same breath.